It was cool, but I was just happy we got the win.
How much did you two want to get him that first bucket?
I told him before the game, before we walked out. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, do your thug.
Shoot, I told him once the coach drew up the play, we was walking out. Before tip-off, I said, Tobes, if I come off this screen, you give me a hard ducking, I'm going to give you this ball. Post him up hard, and the ball would burst at the cow. Wasn't open. Come on, bro. Take it here. Reversed at the cow, and he swung it right back, and Tobes hit me with a nice duck in. Tried to fight over. He held him off like I knew he was going to do, over the top, lay. And that's a bucket. Assist 10, bucket Tobes.
I know you guys don't talk about openly the goals you guys set before the season, but was going undefeated here one of those? And how much has that driven you guys to be only the fourth team to go undefeated in this arena?
Oh, yeah, that definitely is a goal. We know just road games are tough, so we got to protect our house. We know at the end of the day that would be a big part of our success, honestly. It is a decent amount of home games, so if you're able to protect the house, then, you know, from freshman year, we only lost one game, and that was Louisville here. And I remember Coach and the seniors used to tell us, like, man, winning at home is a big, big key, and it's a big key to success as well. So we took it a game at a time, and we was able to actually go undefeated at home and get the fans what they want. We always trying to put on the show here and make sure everybody got smiling.
What was the plan against, particularly against Gray and Dotson, their two big scorers? You held them pretty well in check, you guys.
The main goal is don't let them score. Simply said, don't let Dawson shoot and don't let Gray do whatever he want to do. And we was able to contain them throughout the zone. I feel like our defense and the way we play our zone, our matchup is really tough for them. And today we was able to just keep them on our chest and make them shoot tough shots. And I think that's a big key to why we was able to play the way we did today.
Troy, you seem pretty locked down emotionally just watching you, but was that emotional for you, your final game here?
Yeah, it was. But it was so gassed up. You know what I'm saying? It was so gassed up for us. Everybody thought, oh, Troy, you gonna cry. Oh, Troy, you gonna cry. I actually thought I was, but, you know, when I was walking out before they called Zach's name, I was like, man, I'm not gonna cry because I can't have them all clowning on me for crying. So, you know, I just held it in, you know, as best as I could. And then after they called my name and I walked on the court and it didn't hit me, I was good. I was like, oh, yeah, this is senior night. Yeah, this is what it is. But I feel like it's going to hit me tonight, you know, when I'm sitting at my house and I'm watching, you know, seeing all the tweets and stuff, you know, saying it's the last time, us three, fifth, third. I think it's going to hit me.
What about you, Kevin, being from here? How emotional was it for you?
I mean, I'm always going to come back here. So it's a little different for me, but it's more them that I'm going to miss more than anything. This team has a different kind of bond and chemistry. I mean, 1 through 13. I just know in the back of my mind it'll be nothing like it ever again in life. And that'll be the toughest part for me when I really get to sit down and think about, you know, just the 4 years, everybody I met here, just the fans, the love, the support, and definitely, man, my teammates and my coaches. I'll love them forever. And I know at the end of the day, this is like the last go around. It's coming to an end, and that'll be the toughest part for me. But you know, Cincinnati's always in my heart. I'm my family here, and I'll always come back here. So it's more the guys that I truly met here and made memories with.
Was it cool to get your picture taken with those former players after the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to them with a couple people from the '92 team and. Got Cashmere right here, which is a younger player than them, but it's always good seeing them. I love to see the old support from guys. That means we're doing something right around here if they like to come back and watch us play, so definitely enjoy that.
Troy, talk about your team's defense as you head into the league tournament next week. Is this the best the team's been playing defensively this last couple games?
No. I think this is the best we've played since the past 5 games. When we went to practice the next day after we lost to Central Florida, coaches put our numbers on the board. They were kind of mind-boggling because it's not Cincinnati basketball. And, you know, the couple of practices that we had before this game, he was focusing on, you know, defense. Let's get back to what we was doing in the beginning of the year. Don't let the end of the year, you know, the long season, don't let that tire us out. Let's stay with it. You know, get back to doing what we do best, communicating, talking, and everybody being in sync. And, this was the start of it today, which started in practice 2 days ago.
I thought we had our best 2 practices in months on Tuesday and Wednesday. And just trying to get Troy to focus on his defense. I think when you do that, your offense starts to come back to you. But obviously, a great win, great way to close out Fifth Third Arena, and against a team that's been playing extremely well to dominate the game the way we did. Defensively, we were as good as we've been in a long, long time. And to be honest with you, when you get Kyle with 2 feet in the paint going to his left, he almost never misses. And we still were able to dominate the game. But he's delivered for us in major way all year. He can save some of those makes for Sunday. We're going to need him on the road. But great win for our team. Great effort by the guys against a very good basketball team. We made them look like they're not tonight, but they are. I promise you they are. I've been watching, their last 8 games, 7 wins, and a tight one against SMU. So, guys, they just did a tremendous job. Our effort was off the charts tonight.
What was the plan against particularly Gray and Dotson? How were you able to stop them?
Some terminology we use is like a football terminology against a great running back. You got to load the box. They got to see. They can't ever play one-on-one. If you play team defense against great players. So we try to make sure that Dotson didn't get catch and shoot threes, which he didn't until the game was over. He only had 2 points at half. That was the real key to the game. And then, Rob Gray, he's going to make tough shots because he can shoot off the dribble, but just trying to keep his percentage low. So, he had 17 points, but it took him 15 shots. Try to make sure he's taking hard ones. And he'll make some hard ones. But it's hard to shoot a high percentage. You take a lot of shots off the dribble. So that being said, we haven't out-rebounded a team like this in a long time. So that's something I'm really happy about. Plus 16 on the glass. Key to the game was the first play, getting Zach the low post touch. That was the key to the game.
Nick, could you tell it meant a lot to the guys just to close out this arena the right way, knowing all the history here?
Yeah, I think so. But really, I think these guys they weren't alive, so they weren't thinking the way I was thinking. I think they're thinking senior night, Troy, Kevin, and Zach, we need a win. I think after the game they realized that. I didn't talk a lot about that at all. Just try to keep the guys focused. There's so much noise going on now about seeding and bracketology. It's a distraction. So we just got to worry about practice and today have a great practice. And so I try not to talk to them about that. But I think there's no doubt they realize it now because our athletic department I love what they did by having stuff off the walls so people walked in and was like, wow, this is really happening. Stuff's already coming down. For me personally, it was nostalgic because you got, the way I grew up going to games in the Garden, I sat at games at Riverfront Coliseum. It wasn't U.S. Bank. It was Riverfront Coliseum with yellow, blue, and green seats, watching Roger McClendon play. And my close friend Doug Keckman, who used to average 1 point a game. I can't wait till he sees that tomorrow. But so the turning point in this program was when this building opened. There were 2 key things. I just told Chuck. Obviously, Bob Huggins and Chuck came, and their whole staff. And we opened this building. And those 2 things changed the course of history to where Cincinnati's put Cincinnati back on the map as a basketball program. So when I sat down for this game, I've never felt nostalgic. Going out for my first game coaching here, I was thinking about getting a win. I was younger, I was crazier than I am now. But when we sat down for the tip-off, I realized, and I'm not a guy that thinks about cool stuff like that. I'm not a nostalgic guy at all. I'm probably not the most lovey-dovey human, but I thought about it. I didn't get teary-eyed about this. This is pretty neat. This really is this happening. I've been begging for this for like 8 years. It's happening. I mean, I was looking up stuff off the walls. It's really happening.
Did you think about what the new building's going to mean?
Oh, I think about that every day. The facilities are so important to recruiting. And if Coach Uggs was here, he would tell you how important this place was to getting Herb Jones and all those guys. It changes. Would those guys all have come if we were still playing downtown? And that's the old down, not the renovated one we see now. If you go to Cyclones games, it was the old one with the yellow seats.
This one's bad.
You said that. I don't think so. So it was neat. Appreciate it. Our fans were awesome again. Sell out and close out a season undefeated at home is always your goal as a team. I don't know if us and Oregon are maybe the only people that did it this year. I don't know. Not sure. I know we have this. They have won more at home than us, but it's tough to do. People say it's not easy to win. You start taking winning for granted when you have our record. It's not easy to win. I can promise you, Houston practiced. The guy, Coach Sampson, is one of the best in the country. He's won over 630 games, and they prepared. So I'm really proud of the guys and their effort tonight.
How much have Troy and Kevin meant to this program?
Oh, God.
Be in that phase after SK and.
Well, I would see, two different ways. I think that Troy shouldered a lot of responsibility for 3 years with the ball in his hands to win us games. At times, when he was younger, he had to do it really before he was ready. When he was a sophomore, we asked him to do stuff that probably wasn't ready to do yet. And again, he's not me. He's not Teflon. He probably reads. He had some tough endings to some games maybe, and he kept going. He pushed through it, and look at him. I don't know where he stands in all-time wins, as far as Bearcats. Top 10. I know that the only time I ever heard him, he asked that question. He wanted to know who would won the most games as a player. So. Now, Kevin's different. I think in my world, the way I look at sports, Kevin Johnson we would have been dead without his toughness. When SK, Justin, and Titus when they graduated, we needed Kevin's toughness. And, I think coaches say that, fans just move on. They don't even pay attention. But I can promise you that anybody's ever coached team sports at any level knows what I'm talking about. Kevin Johnson is a tremendous competitor. Like, that game was close. After a timeout, I said we got to start playing harder on defense and taking Houston out of their rhythm. I don't know, it was like 20-18. Come out of that timeout, and he gets a steal and a layup, and that's gone on his whole career. And you don't teach stuff like that. You don't. As a coach, you try to teach the competitive fire that a guy like Kevin has, but you can't. I promise you can. I've lost my mind trying to do it, to be honest with you. I mean, over time, he is an unbelievable competitor. Like, in my mind, if he decided to go join Luke Fickell's team, he would be his best wide receiver next year. And he'd go over the middle, and he'd catch balls, and he wouldn't be scared at all. Like, that's who he is. And when you got a guy you got to have guys like that. You got to have them. Rashad Bishop was that way. Jaquan Parker was that way. SK, Justin, Bobby Brandon, my guy, was that way. They're just, if you get in a dogfight, that he is not backing down. Because what happens, it makes everybody else around you a little bit tougher. So Kevin's value to our program, obviously everybody would talk about Troy's, but in my world, stats can be overrated. To me, they're equal, what they've done for us. And then, obviously, Zach, I told you, was a key to the game tonight.